Welcome back to CIA Declassified. We've looked at agents pushed to madness and crickets used as sensors, but right now we are going into the soil. In the late 1960s, the CIA became obsessed with a man named Cleve Baxter. He wasn't a scientist, he was a polygraph expert. One night, on a whim, he hooked his lie detector up to a houseplant. What he found, or what he claimed to find, sent the agency into a decade-long rabbit hole. This was Project MUGWORT. The agency wanted to know if a plant could act as a silent witness. Could a rubber plant in a Soviet embassy feel the threat energy of an interrogator? Project MUGWORT was the official CIA exploration into primary perception in plants based on the Baxter effect. A quote from Cleve Baxter, dated 1968, "The plant appeared to be reading my mind the moment I intended to burn a leaf. The polygraph needle leaped across the page." End quote. The CIA's Office of Security funded experiments where decoy agents would enter a room and murder a plant by shredding its leaves, while another plant, the witness, was hooked up to electrodes. Internal memos show the agency was particularly interested in whether plants could identify a specific person out of a lineup based on their past hostile actions. Project MUGWORT researchers used galvanic skin response meters to measure the electrical resistance of philodendrons. The agency explored long-distance perception testing if a plant in Virginia would react when its owner was being stressed in another state. One CIA scientist, Dr. Gottlieb, theorized that plants might possess a biocommunications channel outside the known electromagnetic spectrum. A quote from the CIA Office of Research and Development, a memo dated 1973, "If a plant can indeed perceive human intent, the implications for counterintelligence are staggering." End quote. The agency built specialized Faraday cages for plants to see if the perception was blocked by metal shielding. A 1974 report detailed the brine shrimp experiment, where a machine automatically killed shrimp to see if nearby plants screamed electrically. Research was also conducted into plant hypnosis, trying to see if a plant's memory could be erased or altered. The CIA collaborated with the International Society of Plant Biocommunication to keep tabs on Soviet progress. By the mid-70s, the agency expanded MUGWORT to include fruits and vegetables, allegedly hooking up electrodes to oranges and onions. Trainees at the farm were told to practice mental invisibility to see if they could sneak past a monitored plant. The agency's interest was fueled by rumors that the KGB was already using botanical guards in high-level meeting rooms. A declassified 1975 file mentions a plant interrogation protocol where a suspect was left alone with the plant they were told was watching. A quote from a CIA evaluation: "Attempts to replicate the Baxter effect under rigorous scientific conditions have yielded inconsistent results." End quote. Despite the skepticism, the CIA continued funding fringe botanists well into the late 1970s. The project explored the green pulse, a theory that all life forms are connected by a low-level biological signal. One branch of MUGWORT looked into toxic botany, attempting to breed plants that would change color if a spy was in the room. The agency's Science and Technology Directorate developed a plant-to-audio converter that turned electrical spikes into audible screams. Cleve Baxter once claimed he successfully polygraphed a cup of yogurt, asserting the bacteria within it were sensing his emotions. A quote from a CIA case officer on mugwort testing: "It feels ridiculous until you see the needle jump when you walk in with a pair of scissors." End quote. Project Mugwort examined interspecies bonding, trying to determine if a plant could be loyal to a specific handler. In 1971, Baxter presented his findings to the U.S. Army, suggesting plants could be used as an early warning system against sabotage. A quote from an internal CIA memorandum on Baxter's credibility: "While the subject's methodology is unorthodox, the consistency of the reactions cannot be ignored by current standards of polygraphy." End quote. The agency specifically investigated the Mimosa pudica, also known as the sensitive plant, which physically folds its leaves when touched. Project Mugwort files indicate the CIA attempted to train plants by pairing the presence of a specific scent with an electrical shock. In 1972, the agency's Office of R&D conducted a series of silent scream tests using high-frequency microphones placed near wilting flowers. A quote from Marcel, a person who is a scientist and also a project consultant: "Man can and does communicate with plant life. Plants are living objects, sensitive, and they are in a state of constant flux." End quote. If you look at the 1978 Mugwort summary, there is a section titled Field Deployment South America. It is a total blackout. The redactions are thickest in the satellite uplink chapter. A theory that sounds like science fiction is that the CIA wasn't just using houseplants. Speculation suggests these black bars hide the chlorophyll network, a project where they injected silver particles into the roots of ancient trees, turning the entire Amazon rainforest into a massive listening post. A rumor from a retired agency botanist claims the black bars hide the living spy. Speculation is that the CIA developed a biohybrid vine that could be grown into the walls of an embassy and literally listen through its leaves. Some believe the redactions hide the memory tree. The theory is that the CIA found a way to download the chemical memories of an oak to see who had walked past it decades ago. Could the black bars hide the execution garden? One wild theory suggests that MK Ultra victims were buried under specific plants to see if the death energy improved the plant's psychic abilities. Some believe the redactions hide the hallucinogenic pollen. The theory is that the CIA created a spy flower that would release truth serum spores when it detected a specific target. There's a theory that the black bars hide the neural root. Speculation suggests the CIA was testing tree-human telepathy to allow handlers to communicate through the wood wide web. Some speculate the redactions hide the Venus flytrap assassin. The theory is that the CIA grew massive carnivorous plants to dispose of sensitive documents and bodies, leaving no DNA evidence. Whispers claim that the black bars hide the global spore map. A wild theory suggests the CIA tagged world leaders with a microscopic moss that only grows in the presence of a specific agency frequency. Some speculate the redactions hide the photosynthetic polygraph. The theory is that the CIA used lasers to read the vibrations on leaves from miles away to see if people were lying. Finally, some speculate the black bars hide the botanical reset. The theory is that the CIA has a kill code for the world's crops that is activated by specific sounds. Some believe the black bars hide the greenhouse golem. The theory suggests the CIA used trauma to upload a human consciousness into a redwood tree to create an eternal observer. Could the redactions hide the pollen pheromone drive? A wild theory says the CIA developed flowers that could be triggered by satellite to release chemicals that make populations more suggestible. Some speculate the black bars hide the root system processor. The theory is that the CIA discovered the root networks of forest function like a massive supercomputer. Some believe the redactions hide the eternal informant. The theory suggests the CIA modified seeds that once eaten by a target would grow a tiny transmitter in their gut. Some speculate the black bars hide the forest mirage. The theory is that the CIA can use holographic projections to make a desert look like a forest to hide secret bases. A terrifying whisper suggests the redactions hide the SAP memory archive. The theory is that the CIA successfully mapped the electrical pulses of an entire jungle to act as a 24/7 audio recorder. Could the black bars cover Project Seedling? Conspiracy theorists claim the agency grew plants from soil taken from UFO crash sites to see if alien flora had stronger psychic links to humans. Some believe the redactions hide the Arboretum cipher. The theory posits that the agency used the growth patterns of bonsai trees to encrypt messages that can only be decoded by measuring leaf angles. Some speculate the black bars hide the kudzu curtain. The theory is that the CIA developed a fast-growing invasive plant designed to smother enemy radio towers on command. Finally, a wild theory claims the redactions cover the oxygen assassin. Speculation suggests the CIA engineered indoor plants that would absorb all the oxygen in a room the moment they sense the voice of a specific target. Was Project MUGWORT a success? Scientifically, it was a failure. The Baxter effect could never be consistently repeated. However, operationally, it was a fascinator. It gave the agency insight into bioelectrical signaling and how environmental stressors affect living systems. The green lie detector led to breakthroughs in areas no one expected as far as operational breakthroughs go, such as galvanic sensor refinement. Polygraph technology used on plants led to more sensitive sensors for human use. Bioacoustic stealth, the agency learned how to mask electronic surveillance within natural noise. Environmental stress profiles. The CIA developed a database of how toxins affect local flora, allowing them to detect secret Soviet tests. And laser microphones. Early research into leaf vibration led to lasers that can listen to a room by bouncing off a window. Who watches the watchers when the watchers are trees? Project MUGWORT reminds us that for the CIA, nature itself could be a witness. Next time, we are going to look at Project Monarch. We'll peel back the layers of the alleged pedigree of MKUltra survivors. We'll uncover the terrifying claims of multi-generational trauma and the royal bloodline theories that suggests the CIA didn't just pick its victims, they bred them. We'll dive into the darkest theory, the bloodline trigger. Speculation suggests Project Monarch used genetic markers from ancient European families to create sleeper cells activated by a musical tone, turning the elite into puppets. Join us for The Broken Butterfly. In the meantime, I'll see you in the archives.